Hello, everyone. It is good to see you all again. Thank you for making the time to be on this Zoom call today so that we can hash out a few more things. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to center us a bit. Um, just understand that this is your space, right? And my goal is to support each of you as you continue working toward better communication, cooperation in the home, okay? So today, of course, isn't our first session. It's session number 5, which means we are still in the intervention phase. Okay, last time we created a clear chores plan, right? And we talked through the improved skill system. And I appreciate the effort that each of you had made during the past weeks of going through this, right? This doesn't happen fast, right? It's a gradual thing, and we work to become the better us, right?
Right.
So to start us off, I would like for each of you to share briefly a little bit about this past week, and how you felt this week. Just 1 or 2 sentences from each of you about the communication in the home and how the chores plan went.
Well, I will start. I'll just say that, per even our last meeting, I don't think things have progressed at all. I think we're still struggling with communication.
Mhm.
Things are not being done. That's been asked. Disrespect is still across the board, and we're frustrated. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to move forward, and it doesn't seem like it's helping.
Mhm.
Nothing's working.
So you don't feel like there's any moments that been encouraging, moments that's been helpful at all? You feel like it's just been a lot of tension?
Yep, absolutely.
So how about the chores plan?
Chores plan. Well, Lucy does her part to make sure everything goes well. To help her mom out, especially when I'm not here. That is not the same across the board. Everybody's not pitching in to make sure things are running smoothly.
Hmm.
And so again, it remains difficult and frustrating.
So you're having moments where old patterns are kind of refusing to die.
Absolutely. It's just
Mhm.
it's a constant cycle of repeating the same thing over and over again.
So what I'm hearing is that it's not much change at all, and so it's pretty much as it was. So you wouldn't even say that has there even been an attempt, an effort?
My honest opinion, no.
I feel like from our last session,
Mhm.
there was a few attempts, but I feel like we just went back to how things were.
Mm. So let's try something different today, okay? So today I would like to introduce a new evidence-based tool to help the whole family, okay? It's from the cognitive behavioral therapy, right? So it's CBT. And the goal of this tool is very, very simple, and it is to help you understand the connection between what you think, what you feel, and what you react to. Right. See, in families, a lot of times the conflict happens because of automatic thoughts, right? Quick interpretations that just pop in our head at the moment, depending on how we feel or depending on what's going on. So, example is a parent might think, well, he doesn't care about the family, right? Or a teenager might think, I can't ever win. And those thoughts create certain, strong emotions, right? That lead to certain arguments, right? And certain responses, right? So, for a reaction, right, is a equal opposite reaction most times, right? So, in CBT, we slow those automatic thoughts down a bit and we explore rather they are fully accurate or whether they are driven by stress or driven by fear or just simple misunderstanding, right? So when that thought becomes more balanced, the emotions change and the reactions can change. And that's kind of what we want to get to, right? So we're going to practice this today by using a real moment from your week. So choose a specific moment from your week, okay?
All right.
Where something that showed up like tension wise, right? Chores, communication, or expectations, or anything like that.
Oh yeah. Um, for an example, we tried the chores chart,
Mhm.
and as she stated, this week it started off okay. Everybody was somewhat putting in an effort, but as old habits, came back and showed themselves again, it just became difficult to work. As you can see, George is not even here,
Mhm.
uh, and so we got into it, and he thought it best to be somewhere else. So,
Well, George is here. George just hasn't said much.
mm,
George,
I'm done with I'm over all of this. I don't got time for none of this.
and neither do we.
mm. So George, what is some of your problem before we get into this?
I just I just feel like I just do a lot. I'm a student. I play basketball. I have to do all this stuff around there. I gotta come home, do all this stuff around the house. Like I ain't been doing nothing all day at school.
Mhm.
And then I feel like dad just yells, just I can't make a mistake. I gotta walk on eggshells and he's always yelling.
Excuse
Mhm.
after excuse.
And I'm just,
Well, give him,
I
give him
just
a minute.
want to crash out. I'm over it.
Okay, well, George, you give us a specific instance and event that happened this week, okay? And then we're gonna walk through the CBT, right? So give us a specific event that you might have been chores, communications, expectations not met, something, misunderstanding.
Um, I think it was maybe Tuesday.
Hmm.
Came home, got home from school, got home from practice.
Hmm.
Mom asked me to take the trash out and wash the dishes, and I'm like, I just felt like, I just got home from practice, from school. It's like 8 o'clock at night. I just
Hmm.
want to take a shower, eat, and go to bed. Why can't this wait till tomorrow? And plus, I did it the night before. Like, do I have to do it every night? And I don't know. Then mom told dad, then dad started yelling, and then that made me kind of yell at dad. And then I just went to my room and they said I was being disrespectful, but I ain't trying to hear all that.
Okay, so we're okay. Well, so I'm sure that you all have your own understanding of how that event occurred. Do you all know what George is speaking of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to walk through this together, okay? And I'm going to let George kind of take the lead on this. Is that all right? So, step one of the CBT method is slowing down the event, right? So, first, let's focus on what happened, just the facts. So, one more time, George, real simple, real sweet. What was the situation? What was the trigger? And what did each person see or hear? I want each of you to chime in there. So, real quick, George, situation.
Situation was, I guess doing the chores.
Okay. Doing the chores after what? There was more to it?
I had a long day, I had school, and then I had basketball practice.
Okay. The situation was doing the chores, had a long day, school, basketball practice, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What did each person see or hear?
Well,
Uh,
are you asking us what we saw?
Yeah.
Uh, George just came in from what I was told, 'cause, I work 12-hour shifts. So from what I was told,
Hmm.
George came in and just threw his bags down and went to his room and
Hmm.
ignored his mother's request of taking out the trash.
Knowing
Hmm.
that this is what he always does. That's his chores.
not true, bro.
Well, Dad, let me speak to you for a moment. You're working so much, 12-hour shifts. What do you feel when you hear that? He was tired. He didn't
We
want
all tired. We all got to pitch in and do our part. It's a
to.
simple request: take out the trash. You're not doing anything else. We've all had a long day, but this is something that we have to constantly repeat, and we're tired of. We don't want to keep repeating ourselves.
Mhm.
So
So, well, so you were off to work, but you heard about it, right? So, step two of this is identifying automatic thoughts, right? So, your automatic thought is, like you just said, am I correct, Peter? I mean, we're all tired, right?
we're all tired. And
Mhm.
again, this is something that is simple, that is on your chore list of things to do. So
Mhm.
this is something that has to be done. And
Mhm.
so the disrespect as to ignore his mother's request and him taking out the trash
Mhm.
is we're over it. It's becoming too much.
All right, Pete, and I want to be a bit more clarifying for this step two. It's about your automatic thought. So, there's no cleaning it up. That's exactly how you feel, right?
Absolutely disrespected.
Mm. Thank you for saying that. Now I'd like to hear again from you, George. What was your very first thought um, when you heard the reaction to the how you were feeling about that situation?
I mean, I just feel frustrated by it all. I just feel like it's so many expectations, too many demands,
It's taking out the trash. It's not too many.
and
It's
nobody
taking out the
understands
trash.
how I feel. Nobody understands.
Well, Juanita, I'm assuming you were there since Peter was at work, right?
Right.
So what? Give me your honest reaction during that moment.
I understand that he's tired, he had a basketball game.
Hmm.
But like Peter said, I mean, this is something that he knows to do. It is on the chore list. And we don't ask much of him. I mean, even if he takes it in the morning or whenever he's able to, whenever he has free time, but I mean, we don't ask much of him.
Well, and Lucy, you've been quiet a bit. I'm assuming probably a lot was going on if you were in the home at that time. What is your honest thoughts here?
He was just really tired and he just wanted to eat and just get in the shower and go to sleep because that game was a lot of pressure on him because he was the only one that was scoring the shots and he just needed a break.
Now he a basketball star.
So it seems now that that Lucy is empathizing with George here. And that actually is a good lead into step three of this CBT, right? Which is connecting thought to emotions. Okay. So now I'm going to ask each of you to identify what emotion came up right after that thought. For example, um, you know, let's say somebody had the thought of someone was disrespecting me, right? And they was yelling in my face. Likely my first thought would have been get out of my face, but the emotion behind that would have probably been anger, right? So there are many different emotions, right? So what was that thought? Was it anger, worry, overwhelm? After that first thought, what's the emotion that was coming from that thought? Peter?
I would say for me is frustration and disappointment.
Frustration, okay, and disappointment. Okay, what about you, George?
I mean, I would say misunderstanding and frustration.
Misunderstanding and frustration. Okay, Juanita, what came up for you emotionally?
I would say worry. I'm just trying to figure out how do we even get to this point.
Worry. Okay. What about you, Lucy?
Overwhelmed and scared.
Mm, overwhelmed and scared. Are you all kind of hearing each other?
Mhm.
Yeah. See, CBT also, can, help bring us together when we just slow it down a bit, communicate the situation, try to understand what each other was feeling. So we know, from their honest perspective of how they felt, and we know from their honest perspective of the emotion behind what they felt. Okay, because sometimes we can even misunderstand emotion, right? We can perceive sadness as anger, or depression as anger, right? So let's do that in regards to step four. See, step four is connecting emotions to behavior. So now let's look at what each of you did in response to the emotion that you felt, right? Now, this part is important because it helps us understand why moments oftentimes escalate. It goes from 0 to 100, right? So, Peter, what did you do or say next when you heard from Juanita the circumstance of him, being so exhausted,
Uh,
right? And
my initial response was he was grounded, and if he didn't want to abide by our rules, that he could leave, which he did. As you see, he's not here with us; he's somewhere else. So
yeah, George, how did you respond?
How do I respond to what?
How did you respond to your father telling you to leave? It looks like you did leave, of course.
Yeah, I left because I gotta have peace somewhere.
Mm. Okay, and Lucy, how did you respond or cope in that moment?
I was just really overwhelmed by all the yelling, so I just went to my room and just
How do you feel about George being out the house?
it's awkward kind of because I'm used to seeing him all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
From your perspective, do you feel like he should be out the house?
Yeah, I feel like it. But at the same time, he does need his space because there was a lot going on.
Mm. Which brings us to step five, which is challenging and reframing thoughts. Okay. Thank you all for that. Now we're going to work on shifting each automatic thought into a more balanced thought. A lot of times with anger, when you lose a lot of rationality in the moment, and a lot of times when we're angry, we try to make certain decisions, and that's really not the time to make certain decisions because a lot of times we respond in ways that's unjust because our reasoning receptors are completely shut down within our brain. Okay, so this moment in step five is I want you to understand it's not about blaming anyone. It's about accuracy and fairness, right? So, Peter, if you take a step back, is the thought you had your automatic thought 100% true in every situation? Or was it influenced by stress and exhaustion with all that has gone on with George and your
I mean,
relationship?
I could probably agree that the stress, the burden of trying to take care of this family and make sure everything runs smoothly
Mm,
could have had a play in my reaction.
okay. Okay. If we were to rewrite that thought into something more balanced, what might it sound like?
Maybe more of a conversation to make sure everybody understands how this household is to be ran, and make sure everybody feels like they're heard, but at the same time, accountability is received.
Okay, good. Hold on to that new version, okay? George, let's do the same. Is your automatic thought fully accurate in the way that you have responded, or is it a reflection of feeling overwhelmed or misunderstood? Right? So could how you responded not just came from the moment at hand, but from certain things that you were already feeling that's been kind of piled upon internally in the past?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So what would be a more balanced way to think about that moment?
I don't know.
Can you kind of empathize in any way with what Peter is saying in regards to him working 12 hours a day, but still saying that even though he has work at work, you still have to contribute to the home when you get home, right? So saying that there's expectations in that home. Can you
Mhm.
empathize with that?
Yeah, I guess.
hmm Okay, excellent. Hold on to that, right? Juanita, let's look at your thought as well. What might be more fair and balanced version? So, for example, um, how, from your initial response, is there anything you could have done better?
I could have just understood where he was coming from and let him take it out in the morning.
Mhm. Okay. And Lucy, what about you? I know that you were kind of a bystander in all of this, but in the way that you were kind of viewing in that moment, what are you feeling now?
I felt like, well, I feeling like I could have helped him take out the trash or stepped in and like started taking out the
Mhm.
trash on the days he was tired.
Mm. So it seemed like that, that shows great strength and empathy too. So, and that's kind of what this all, takes, guys. You have to be empathetic towards the other, right? The more selfless that each person is, the more fulfilled each person is going to feel. Matter of fact, let's say that together. Say the more selfless,
The
The
more
more
selfless
selfless
This.
yeah, each person is,
each person is,
Yeah.
the more fulfilled
more fulfilled
each
Yeah.
person will feel.
Each person will fulfill.
No, will feel.
will feel.
Yeah. So you're gonna
Yeah.
feel when you're selfless, it's you're never going to feel like you're just giving and not it's not being given back to you, right? So it's going to take a measure of that for everyone. Okay, so CBT has another step, and that's step 6, and that's identifying new actions. Okay, identifying new actions is very, very, very important because doing things the same way and expecting different results is of course the definition of insanity. So we do not want to do that. Okay, so now that you all have a new, more balanced thought, think about one small behavior you can do differently next time. So, Peter, with your new thought in mind, what is one calmer and clearer way you could respond next time in practice? So, you gave me some general ideas and your thought behind it, but let's do word for word this scenario. I'm Juanita. I'm calling you. George didn't take out the trash. George said that he was tired, and the trash is not taken out. And I know that you're at work all night and you're not going to be off in a while, and the trash is stinky. And I'm so frustrated right now. Go.
Um, Maybe my initial response is to um, maybe make sure that um, her feelings are addressed, and then also just to reassure her that I'll have a conversation with George, and maybe not such an angry one, but more of a conversation where we can find common ground to make this work.
Okay. So, George leaving the house. Did George, and I do have a question there. When George left the house, was it because of what was said on the phone? Did you all ever have a face to face? How did that occur?
It was a face-to-face since I walked through the door.
Okay, so as soon as you
Mhm.
walk through the door, okay, let's say you walk through the door. There's George. Go.
Can I have a talk with you? Um, we're all trying to work together to make this family run smoothly, this household run smoothly.
Mhm.
And so we all have to do our part and pitch in. Yours is taking out the trash. I understand you're tired. We're all tired. We have things going on, but we all have to help each other out.
George, what would be your response to that?
Well, thank you for seeing my side. I just want to feel like I'm heard and understood. I can do better with.
Or do you feel heard and understood? Because he addressed the home, he hasn't addressed you.
Well, I said I understand he's tired, and you know
Yeah.
that we're all tired.
Okay. Do you understand why?
Yes, he has basketball.
George, I have a deeper question for you. Is that all? Is it the basketball that's making you tired? Is there more?
I mean, it's school, it's everything. I just got stuff to do everywhere I go. I can't never take a breather.
Mm. So, George, how is it amongst your peers at school?
I mean, it's fine, but school is it's not like when y'all was growing up and the 1900s. It's just different now.
George, how are you with your peers? Are they treating you with respect?
I mean, yeah, I guess I get along with the guys on the team. That's really all I care about.
Okay, what about with your teachers?
Um, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I guess yeah.
Are you struggling anywhere in your classes?
Mm, not really. I mean, it's okay. I'm okay, a student.
Okay. What about the love of work that you're going through and experiencing?
It's too much. I don't know if it's because a junior this year and I don't know. It's just too much. It's too much.
Hmm. So I'm hearing from you, it's not just exhaustion as in physically tired. It seems like you're internally tired and overwhelmed.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you feel like your family understands that you're overwhelmed?
No,
Hmm. Could that be part of it for you?
absolutely.
Do you think that you might not understand how to express that? And I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but your father does work 12 hours. Does any of that make you not communicate really how you truly feel, and so they don't know because you kind of think in your mind, well, he's working 12 hours. I can get through this.
I mean, not really. It's more so like you're never really here. I never really see you. When I wake up for school in the morning, he's already out the door. When I go to bed at night, he's not home from work yet. So I really don't even see him.
So when she asks you to take out the trash, do you think some of that might be, well, where's dad?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, Peter?
I mean, I get it, but also understand, like,
Hmm.
this is just what we have to do right now. It's a struggle, but this is what we have to do. And even in my absence, I still expect respect to, be the leading force in this home.
Yeah. But are you hearing what he's saying about what he's needing? And then two, are you hearing George as well, what your father's saying about he having to make provision? Do you think that there's can be some compromise there to where there is more time intentionally together as a family, and at the same time there is grace given?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Well, we've made it pretty far in this this week, and I just want to thank you all today for your honesty. Okay. If you ever feel overwhelmed by anything or you feel unsafe, take a moment to step away, to take a break, use the relaxation breathing techniques that we have been talking about, right? Um, and understand that, your physical safety is your priority, right? And think about how you communicate and being able to communicate fully when you do communicate, okay?
Hmm.
Okay. So know yourself, know your values, know that your values matter, and know that these values matter in regards to your home. What are those values? That's responsibility, that is tone, right? That's respect, and that is your role in the family. And that's what you all are trying to get a grasp of and an understanding of, right? So at the end of the day, your values matter, and the goal is not to erase them, but to communicate them to each other, okay? So as we close today, I want to highlight the strengths I see in each of you, right? You continue to show up even when the work is hard. And I know that it's been difficult. And George, I know that you've left the house. But what I want each of you to work on is finding a way that you can come to an understanding, agreement, and a compromise. And George can come home. Peter, George, do you want to come home?
Not right now, no.
Okay. Peter, are you open to George coming home if that arises?
Absolutely. This is, I can see the effect that it's having on my family, and I just, you know, I feel like we deserve the respect.
Mm.
Um, that is necessary for this home. You know, and as long as we can all work together to make sure everything runs smoothly, I have no problem and would love to have him back home. But if that can't happen, then he can stay where he is.
George, you hearing your father?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, George. Well, think about that. When we come back next week, are you good for another week?
How much is this costing us?
Well, you have a few more sessions on your insurance, so don't worry.
All right. Well, yeah.
But George, are you okay to be, since you're gonna probably be away, looks like from another week, are you okay with that? Are you safe where you are?
Yeah, I'm on my grandma's.
Okay, well, that's good to know, George. Well, you're man miles there. So over this week, think about, maybe coming home and the things that we talked about, and we're going to pick back up next time and discuss further. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank each and every one of you for this session. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for listening to one another and attempting to empathize with one another. Again, remember, be selfless. When everyone is selfless, everyone feels fulfilled. Okay.
All right.
We'll speak
Bye.
next week. Bless you all. Bye bye.